If you don't want mess, then you better use the best, because concrete pouring doesn't have to be boring. Hello, my name's Will and I'm the Sales Director here at Rhinox Group.
Hello, my name's Lewis. I'm a dealer sales executive at Rhinox. In this video, we'll be discussing the Rhinox concrete pouring bucket, what it is, what it does, and hopefully answering some of your questions.
Well, Lewis, this product we have here is a concrete pouring bucket, and it is what its name suggests, a pouring bucket for a 14 and a 20 ton excavator. It has a number of important key features that we'd like to go over today, showing how versatile it can actually be. So we have a multi-pin pickup system up here, which means it can work with a number of different excavators in the 14 to 22 ton range. So the pins can be switched from one size, the 65mm to 80mm, so that it can be switched from one excavator to another in a very quick period of time. Then we've got the adjustable gate and chute. Can you sort of go over some of the reasons why this makes this product unique to the market?
Well, the round bottom chute on the front of this bucket increases the accuracy when pouring material into a trench or wherever you might be pouring the material. The adjustable gate here at the start of the chute can control the flow of the material, whether it be pea shingle or concrete, and it can be swapped over to give you either a third or 2/3, or it can be completely removed.
That's interesting, that. So it can be used for things like pea shingle and other pourable substances, so you don't have to just limit it to the concrete product itself.
Absolutely.
That's good, because a number of others that are out in the industry don't have the chute on the front. That means when you're pouring, your directional pour is actually very limited.
That's right, and this bucket comes as standard with the removable gate.
That's brilliant. I can see how that will work with a tight area. I think that's probably where this product comes into play the most, is when there's limited access and you've got a narrow trench that is difficult to pour just using a standard bucket, which is traditionally what people have used, or a concrete pump. So that's very helpful. You can see you can attach the gate via this linchpin at the front, so it can't fall out whilst it's being used.
That's right.
That's good. So bucket hooks we've got here, this V wedge means that it can be actually transported on a grading bucket around site, so safe transportation whilst it's not attached to the excavator. That's quite an important feature I can see that flows right across our Rhinox bucket range.
So the capacity of this pouring bucket is 1 cubic metre, which is a very reasonable capacity, which increases efficiency when pouring on site.
Yeah, I can see that, because obviously I suppose there's options of having a concrete pump on site, but where this really comes into its own is where there's access is limited or availability of a pump is on a long lead time. This can easily transport the concrete from one area of the site to another without it costing a large amount of money, and over and above a standard bucket which is completely open at the front, which reduces the volume. This can hold a reasonable amount of concrete and make the job quick and efficient. I can see that's one of the key features on it. I know some people have had concrete use this where they can't back the truck right into the site because it's wet and stodgy ground, and they'd be worried that the truck was going to get stuck.
Yeah.
So they can move the excavator between the slab or the foundations that they're pouring, and then use it instead of trying to back the truck right in and up to it and getting stuck.
Absolutely. So the first step would be to select the correct pin setup to use this concrete bucket.
Okay, so as it's set up now, it's on 65mm pins, which is traditionally 14 ton excavators.
Right. And it also has in the storage rack behind the bucket 80mm pins, which would suit your machine on 20 ton.
That's interesting. And so the rack can be used to make sure that you don't lose the pins whilst you're using the configuration that you've got it set up on at the time.
That's right. So you'll have the other pins ready for when you need them.
Brilliant. So the next point is to make sure that you reverse mount this bucket when you're setting up ready for your pour. So you have the chute pointing away from the excavator. This means you can easily load it with the truck, the concrete pouring truck, and you also can get your directional pour a lot easier reverse mounted than pointing towards you.
That's brilliant. The next step would be to make sure the gate is in the correct configuration for what you're pouring.
Okay.
So this would depend on the consistency of the material you're pouring, or the size of the job, whether it be foundations or a full slab. Brilliant. Or shingle over piping.
Yeah, okay. So you've got this convex and concave system that opens or restricts the flow.
That's right. So in the convex position that it's in at the moment is the smallest flow. Yeah. Then this would mean it's slightly more flow, and then it can be completely removed to have unrestricted flow.
Brilliant. That's great. So then you position the bucket under the truck, slightly tilted up, so that most of the product fills in nicely into the back of the bucket and then can be transported around the site safely and easily without spillage and mess and waste.
That's excellent. We would recommend working with the truck driver to make sure the bucket isn't overfilled for the capacity of the machine.
Yep. So I suppose that comes into play mostly when it's a 14-ton excavator, would you suggest?
That's correct, as this, when it's completely full, would come towards the limit of the machine on a 14-ton.
Yeah, like we say, in many instances, it's down to operator's discretion when this kind of thing is being used, because different weights can put the machine more at risk depending on where it's positioned on site, I guess.
That's right.
Great. And then you'd move the machine into position, tracking across the site so that you can pour easily without it, I suppose, putting others at risk. The main thing with this product is that it can be easily moved around, attached to the excavator, positioned to do the job well and not put others at risk.
That's right. And that's why this bucket is so versatile, and it makes the machine more versatile as well.
Yeah, great. So then the next point, I guess, is that you repeat the process until the task is done.
Not forgetting to clean it out at the end of your job.
Yeah, definitely. That's always important, because none of us like to come back to a product that's been left caked in concrete or dirt and then not being fit for the task in hand when you really need it.
That's right.
At the point of filming, this product comes in one size, which is the 1 cubic metre product for a 12 to 25 tonne excavator. That's 65mm pins for your 12 through to 15 tonne excavators and 80mm pins for your 20 to 25 tonne excavator. The price is £1,450 plus transport, and it's available on our website today, or if you'd like to contact one of our customer service executives, they'd be more than willing to speak to you.
Thank you for watching this video. To watch more videos, click here, and make sure you follow us on our social media below.
The excavator. How would you fit? No, start again. Take one of our customer service executives. No, have I got sort of this in the middle of my nose or anything? No.